restful. Hi, everyone. Thank you so much for joining us today. My name is Omomi Victoria Samson, and the session will be starting very soon. Hi, Mercy. Good evening, everybody. All right, so let's get started. We're going to start with a brief introduction. As you can see on the screen, the topic we're treating today is data modeling. Sorry, data modeling, building pretty much how to build your first data model from scratch using Draw.io. So if you're a data professional, can you give me a one? And if you're not, give me a two. I'd like to get to know us very well. If you're a data professional here, give me a one. And if you're not, give me a two. So if I don't see any two, I believe that means everybody is a data professional. All right. Okay, I see ones and I see some twos. Okay. If you're not a data professional, can you let us know what you do? Someone says 1/2. All right. If you're not a data professional, can you let us know what you do? Sorry, I think I'm trying to put back my okay, it's back on. All right. If you're not a data professional, can you let us know what you do? For the data professionals, have you used Draw.io before? Would like to know that. So let us know if you've used it before. Have you used Draw.io before? Has anyone? Okay, Mercy has never used it. Casimir has never used it. Andrew has used it. Joseph has used it. Caride has never used it. Richmond has never used it. Okay. All right. Faith has never used it. Okay. All right. I see that we have a lot of people who have never used it. Okay. Amasa has used it before. All right, Jonas has never used it. Okay, great, great. Keep it coming, guys. I would like to know how many people on the call have interacted with Draw.io at some point or the other. I mean, this is also going to help the facilitator take you guys meet you at the level that you are at, right? So it's very important for us to carry everybody along. So if there is anyone on the call who has never used it before, this session is for us to be able to make sure that everybody feels carried along, no one is left out. So Aremo says he has never used it before. All right, awesome. Thank you guys for joining. It's so great to have everybody on the call. If you've ever joined any of our sessions before, if you have never joined any of our sessions before, can you give me a thumbs up? If you've never joined it, Aremo, this is actually not the first one, right? This is not the first session. This is the second practical session. I think you missed the first one. Okay, so I see quite a number of people who have never joined our session before. Faith is just joining, and I see quite a number of people who also kind of gave me a thumbs up that they have never joined our session before. So permit me to introduce Amdari to you. Okay, yeah, I see quite a number of people that have not joined before. And yes, Jonas, you actually missed um the sessions that you didn't join. The first one was also very impactful. I mean, you can always catch up on that on YouTube. You can reach out to us after the session or just go to our YouTube page, subscribe. You'd always get updates on any practical session you have missed. But this practical session is meant to like help you properly get a hang of certain tools that you might either be struggling with or tools that you've never used before. So like I said, I'd like to introduce Amdari to the people who are just joining us. I see that some people indicated that this is their first time um joining. So I'll be introducing Amdari and what we do. So I believe everybody here has taken a data analytics training, and one of the things you'd agree with me on in terms of getting practical experience is the fact that the data sets are not readily available. You either struggle to find data sets or practice projects or even like real world projects that you can work on, right? And even when you're undergoing your internship with your training organizations, the capstone project is either one or two. It's not exactly enough to really prove yourself or have that practical hands-on experience that you would want to have in order to have a job ready portfolio. So Amdari saw this problem and we said, okay, how can we come up with a solution? And then we built Amdari. What Amdari does is that it helps you work on real world projects that is guided. These projects span across data science, data analytics, and data engineering. And I would show you briefly what our platform looks like. Again, I am making this for the purpose of people joining us for the first time. It's important that everybody know who we are and why we are here today. So the website address is www.amdari.io. You can just type it in your search and you would find us on your screen. So let me take us to the dashboard, or rather the homepage. So you can see that it talks about gaining work experience when you work on real world projects in data science, data engineering, and data analytics. So that's pretty much what Amdari does. So one of the key benefits of working with, or rather working on projects on Amdari, is that you get to build job ready portfolio, right, while at it. So as you're working on projects and doing all of that, the next thing you're able to do automatically is to build your job ready portfolio, and I'll show you that. So you can see that we also cover tools in Microsoft Excel, Power BI, Tableau, Looker Studio, SQL, Python, R, Google, AWS, Azure, and GCP. So these are tools that you can get projects to work on. And let me take us. So this is someone who has created an account. So we navigate to the dashboard easy. And on your dashboard, you can see that as a new user, you have access to work on 6 projects, right? So these are the free 6 projects that you have, 2 under data analytics, data science, and data engineering. By default, it displays just 2, but when you click on view all, it displays all the other ones. So you can also see the level. By the way, the platform also caters for beginners, intermediates, and advanced professionals. So you can just switch like this, or scroll rather, to see the projects that we have. When you click on start project, you get redirected to the video. That's the video guided platform where you're able to watch all of the guided videos that
So,
we have
sorry,
there.
please. The presentation is not showing. The presentation is not showing. I'm not seeing. I don't know if
Oh, you
that's
can't can
now on
anyone
my.
see my screen?
Yeah, I can see your screen from my end.
Yes, yes.
Okay, I think it's your network. You might want to leave and join back. You might want to leave and join back.
All right.
All
Thank
right.
you.
Yes. Okay, so when you come to this page, you're able to see the data sets provided. Again, like I mentioned, these are real world projects from real businesses. So they are not just random projects, random data sets, or just created for practice. No, they are created for you to have proper hands-on experience. And with this, you can, download your data set, start working on projects, and this is where you start watching all of the videos that we have. And when you click on play, you're able to see the video that guides you on how to come about your own solution. I'm trying to forward so that you can just get a sneak peek into what that looks like. All right, so all right. So that's what it looks like. You're guided by the project coordinator. They take you through the entire process, or rather, project contributor. So when you're done watching all of these projects, you can easily submit your solution by clicking on this button, and you get redirected to this submission page. You fill all of the fields, select the tools that you used while working on the project, and click on submit at the end of the screen. When you click on submit, your portfolio is automatically generated, which is what you see here. You can see that this person can write a brief about yourself, by the way, your role and all of that. You can see that this person has worked on, it says projects I have worked on, and you can see the projects that this person has worked on. So that's what it looks like. You can also update your work experience. It says I'm a data analyst at Amdari, and then this is just placeholder text while I was setting up the test account. So that's how you get to like have it on Amdari, and you can copy your link and share with recruiters. They would see your portfolio page easy, and all of the projects that you have been able to work on and the solution you've been able to come up with. So it's that easy. You can even add it to your LinkedIn, and just you can put my portfolio and just put the link there on your LinkedIn. And another exciting aspect of this, which I always love to call my favorite, is the job board. So the job board gives you access to new jobs that people are hiring for. So you're able to see jobs on the platform every time. So this, for example, you can see we have roles that were posted 6 days ago, 7 days ago, and they're like data analyst and visualization intern, master's level internship, and the likes across the globe. By the way, not just Nigeria or something like that. It's across the globe. And if I scroll, you'd see how many jobs we have on the platform. It's quite a lot. So imagine how many of these jobs you can even like apply to in a month, right? And by the law of average, before you know it, you get your I mean, luck is going to smile on you at some point and you get the job. So you can see all of the jobs that we have on the platform. So it's that much. You can see me scrolling, like it's that much on the platform. And this is general, but when you come to For You tab, it is specific to the field that you picked. So because this account was created for a data engineer, all the jobs under For You will specifically speak to your field. So this is a software engineer. You can see software data engineer, Apple Music, data engineering, and the company is Apple. Can you see? You can also see this one. The company is 6.6. So that's how it shows, that's how it displays the jobs that are available. And these are jobs that you most likely might not see on LinkedIn or, yeah, platforms like this. So that's why I always say it's one of my favorite aspects of the platform. And again, by the time you apply for how many in a month, the law of average is definitely going to make one work out for you, if not more than one. But let's just say that. So yes, that's what Amdari offers, and so much more, by the way. So you can, if you intend to like subscribe and upgrade to have access to all of this that I just showed you, I showed that we have the plan that gives you free access to 6 projects. And with that, you're able to build your portfolio, you're able to have real-time progress tracking, access to, you go from zero to job ready. And under professional plan, we have the monthly aspects, which is monthly plan, which gives you access to the virtual internship experience, access to remote job board, which was the one I showed you, work reference letter, and a whole lot more that you can see here. Then we have the lifetime plan, which is unlimited plan. This one gives you access to the platform for life. Subsequent projects added, you benefit from it. Future content, you benefit from it. Subsequent increment in price doesn't affect you. The only thing that affects you is the continuous value that is added to Amdari platform. So that's what we have on Amdari. And if you want to compare the benefits and all that, you can just choose to scroll down and you'll see so much more under that place. And if you intend to make payments for yearly and end up saving 20%, you can just switch it and you see what it looks like under yearly. So you can see that instead of paying 599,000 naira, you're paying 479,000. It is billed once in a year. So that's how we have it on Amdari. This is the benefit. This is what comes with, jumping on Amdari to build your career, to, keep learning and evolving in your role as a data professional. So I'll stop sharing this screen and introduce our guest for today. So briefly, let me switch back to my all right. So that's it about Amdari. If Amdari is solving a problem that you know affects you, can you give me a thumbs up before I proceed? Amdari solves a problem that affects you. Can you give me a thumbs up? Okay, John is giving me a thumbs up. Amazing. Kasmir, Uluwaseyi, Mary. Great, great, great. Okay, so let's move on. Um, so briefly, my name is Omowumi Victoria Samson, and business and tech executive. I am a versatile professional with a robust background in software engineering, marketing, product management, and tech entrepreneurship. I have a proven track record in delivering impactful results across various industries that I have worked in. I have worked in film tech, ed tech, and marketing. And I currently work at Amdari as CTO and COO. So I would introduce our guest. That's our facilitator for today. His name is Aise Agbonlaho. He's a seasoned technology professional with about 5 years of experience, diverse by the way, spanning across data analytics, business analysis, power platform development, and more recently, predictive AI engineering. The lead in charge of training operations at Analytics, ISE has cultivated a rich background in various roles like data analyst, marketing and strategy, business analyst, fintech, power platform engineering, and worked with companies across US, UK, and Canada, and Singapore, by the way. So you see that you're in good hands when it comes to the skill sets needed to thrive in the space. So he operates as a consultant and freelancer, actively contributing to digital transformation initiatives, trained over 1,005 participants, further solidifying expertise in the field. So, again, you guys are going to be learning from the best of the best. So, like I mentioned at the start, the topic we're treating today is data modeling. Build your first data model from the scratch. And this is using Draw.io, and this is a practical session. So that means if you're not on your system, please jump on your system. It will be great for you to practice while learning alongside Ise as he takes you on this journey. And at the end of the day, whatever you take from this, again, what I love about this is because most people are saying, oh, this is their first time interacting with the tool, this is their first time using it. It would be very, very great if you're able to tell us, like post about whatever you come up with at the end of the session with ISET today. Post about it, show us your the data model you're able to, come up with after this session. Again, we'd love to see it, would love you to tag us. And yeah. So I say hi.
Yeah, thank you very much for that, Amobi. And hello everyone. Welcome to a session, I would say, or rather, I think that should be welcome to the session. Now, this is going to be the second D session that we've had for a while now. I believe the first was some time ago where we worked in Lucas Studio, and then now we're going to be doing something else. Like I said, once again, welcome to the session. Don't ask me why I'm using the definite article. It's just something I found myself doing more nowadays. Okay, and so I decided that in the session today, we are going to convert lots and lots of a that, a this to the this that. Don't ask me where it came from. I don't know. Probably I was just reminiscing and it just hits me. But anyways, we'll roll with it. Okay. Okay then. So how are we doing? How are we all doing? I would just like to get a feedback. So you can use the chat box because I'm very, very big on communication. For each and every one of my sessions, each and every one of my training sessions, either maybe it's a webinar, maybe a live session on Twitter, on LinkedIn, wherever, there's something I'm very big in, and that is communication. Okay, that is what communication. And I usually like to give my definition of what communication is all about because I'm sure that you know what communication is. Okay, you know what communication is. What is communication? When you speak to someone and the person understands what you're saying, that is communication. That was what was taught uh, in school. Okay, but what is my definition of communication? When I say communication, what am I talking about? To me, and this is ISIS's definition, okay? To me, communication is I speak, you speak, we all speak. Okay? I speak, you speak, we all speak. That is what I think communication is all about. Okay. So, yes, I know that everyone might not be able to speak. We don't want to have a rowdy session. We don't want to have a ruckus, like I love to say. So, how can you be a part of what ISISA calls communication. It's easy using the chat box. Now, Oluwaseyi has already responded. I can see responses coming in already from Funke, from Esther, and all of that. That is what we are going to be doing in the session today. Or I need more of that. So I'm going to repeat the question I asked earlier. And because I want to know if we are ready to key into the session today. And what was that question? I would repeat. How are we all doing? So how are we doing, guys? I want to see your responses on the chat box. How are we doing? I'm good. So Oscar says I'm good. Okay, fantastic, Oscar. Okay. What about the rest of us? How are we doing? So Andrew says I'm good as well. Richmond says I'm very well, and you? So Richmond actually decided to ask about me as well. I'm fine, Richmond. Thank you very much. I'm fine. So Agba says fine, fantastic, good one, Christiana. Jonah says I'm blessed. Okay, so Jonah is probably having a fantastic day. So Jonah says I'm blessed. That's a good one, Jonas. Luashi says I'm doing great. Thank you very much. Ezekiel says great. Messi says I am very well. I am very well. Okay, and Victor says I am good. Amazon says I am fine. I would need more responses though. Okay, down the line, more responses would need to come in. Okay, because I think we are 50 on the call. So when I ask a question, I should get nothing less than 20 responses. But enough of the talk. We came here for something. Yeah. You didn't come here to see my face, although seeing my face is I love seeing my face, and I hope you do love seeing my face as well. That's okay, but that's not the reason why we're here. The reason why we are here is to learn about data modeling. Data modeling is a big one, it's a sweet one, and it's a nice one. If you're a data engineer, or you're a data scientist, or a data analyst, you would, of course, come across data modeling a time or two. The data engineer goes ahead to model their data when they are trying to push the data into a SQL database. The data analyst can go ahead to model that same data when it was not done by the data engineer, when they're trying to carry out their data analysis using visualization, using Power BI, Tableau, or whatever tool that they're using. And they go ahead to carry out their data modeling. Even in Power BI, there is the model view. Similar, we have similar situations in Tableau as well, meaning that modeling is a big thing. A data engineer uses Python to model. What is modeling though? We get to see. Stay with me. I got you. Okay? So, the case study, we are going to use a case study. I love using case studies in passing across a message, because I feel and I know that every one of us on the call at the moment, one of the key reasons why we are trying to learn anything is not because we like to learn. Okay, it's not because you feel like, oh, I want to learn, I just love learning, and that's the reason why you decided to go ahead to learn the skill of a data analyst or the skill of a data engineer. Oh, that's the reason why you decided to go ahead to learn how to code with Python. It's not because you like to learn. Yeah, you do have some persons that's the reason. I love to learn, and that's the reason why I'm learning. But for majority of persons on the call, for adults, when you learn, it's because you're looking to either get a job, get a promotion, or all in all, make more Benjamins. I love saying Benjamins, and I do hope you understand what Benjamins are, because I'm going to I'm going to use that phrase, okay, so many times on this call. Now, what are the Benjamins? Do we know what the Benjamins are? So you can also use the reactions, okay? So you can give me a thumbs up if you know what the Benjamins are, and then of course the opposite reaction if you don't know. Thank you very much, Andrew. So Andrew knows. Oluwaseyi says cash. Yeah, exactly. So that's what the Benjamins are. So one of the reasons why we're here is to learn a skill that would help us get a job, and of course that would help us make the Benjamins. So you can go on a vacation, have good work-life balance, and flex. Okay, so I love going with a case study approach. So you get to see how this particular concept can be used in an actual work setting. And this is something that Amdawi also offers you with the numerous projects that are available, where you get to work on industry relevant projects, and you understand what you will really be doing when you eventually get that role. That is what we are going to be doing right now. Taking a look at the case study. And what case study? Easy. We're going to be taking a look at classing. Don't ask me where the name came from. So of course, based on data privacy issues and all of that, so names need to be changed. But classing is something I just came up with. Okay, but we are going to be actually working on an actual business problem. So just a change in the name, some columns in the data set due to data privacy issues. Okay, all right. Classing. Classing as an issue. All right, classing as an issue. Uh, Apologies. I think I have. Okay, yeah. So classing. That is what we're working on. But what is classing about? What is the problem they are facing as an organization? What does classing do? Why is data modeling needed? Why is ISO speaking about classing? We'll see. But first of all, about me. So I don't think I need to say more, because Omomi has done a fantastic job introducing me. So I'm Aisha Agmalaho, as you can see from the name tag, or you can call me Aise. Any of them works really. Okay, and I'm a seasoned technology professional. I have diverse experience ranging from data analytics, business analysis, power platform development, and also predictive AI engineering. All right, and there are a couple of other things about me, some more fun things about me, but I don't want to go into those things today. I think maybe whenever we see, that's when next we see, or maybe if you ever join any of my sessions, email sessions, okay, to get to learn about some more fun things about ISISA. But for now, we're just going to keep it to, we're just going to leave it at this. Okay. Anyways, so what is classing? What is the issue? First of all, what is the business about? Classing sells a lot of things. Products. For some of us on the call, you probably have a business, or you go to a business. Maybe you sell I don't know what you sell, but you sell something, okay? It's a business. And let's say you have a diverse range of products, maybe like a retail, okay? You sell home equipment, you sell groceries, you sell all of those things. That is what classing does as well. So they are dynamic, they are fast changing, and they have a diverse range of products. They've been growing. They've been achieving what we like to call success. Oh, so at this point they had this number of customers, now it has increased, and they're doing very well. But as they are increasing as a business, their data generation is also increasing. Previously, what classing did was that everything relating to their data was stored in a single sheet or in a single database. I'm going to tie this case study. This case study is going to be tied to either you are in the data engineering sphere, no problem. This can apply to you. If you're in the data analytics sphere or in the data science field, no problem. This would apply to you as well. So, classing has their data in just a single sheet. Everything is just in one place. But now, due to improved operations, rapid growth, the data is now becoming cumbersome. Okay? It's now becoming cumbersome. And so they really can't make much sense of the data. It's not easy to go ahead to get insights from the data set. Okay? That is the problem. The problem statement, like I said, they are expanding. They're expanding. And due to the expansion of classing and them storing all of their data, everything relating to their data in a single table, in a single sheet, they now have an issue whereby they have data redundancy, inconsistencies, performance issues, limited analytics. Because when you're trying to carry out I would show you we'll see what the data set looks like anyways. But when you are trying to carry out operations, carry out some insights, carry out some analytics on a data set or database. I don't want to use database now because databases are most times modeled. Okay, you rarely see a database that's not modeled. So let's stick with data sheets. Okay, so uh, let's say you have a sheet like your Excel sheet, your Google sheet. Everything relating to the organization, relating to the data being generated, it's all stored on that sheet. Okay, it's all stored on that what on that sheet. So the data engineer wants to go ahead to take that sheet. Okay, they want to go ahead to take that sheet and move it into a database, but they don't want to just go ahead to extract the information transfer and just to extract and load directly. All right, they don't want to extract and load directly. They also want to carry out transformation to be able to have different sections, different tables that actually store information about certain sections of the data set. And the same thing for a data analyst. The data analyst goes ahead to what? To analyze. Wants to go. The data analyst wants to go ahead and the data set as well. Wants to go ahead to analyze the data set to get insights on how the company can improve, how they can do this, how they can do that. But due to the way the data is structured, so modeling needs to be carried out. If Power BI is being used, the data if Power BI is being used, part of the data modeling process will be carried out in your Power Query, and then the completion will be carried out in the model view, where relationships are created. For the data engineer, Python is going to be used in getting this done. That's Python working with your Python libraries, talking about your pandas and your NumPy. Any data engineer in the house? If you're a data engineer, throw your hands in the air. I was inside, okay? So if you know you're a data engineer, just throw your hands in the air. So I don't think we have an hands in the I don't think we have a hands in the air emoji. So that's the ways that icon, Clementina. Okay. So I wanted to throw this. I don't think there's any throw your hands in the air. I think the closest thing we have is a thumbs up and confetti. Okay. So maybe we stick with that. Okay. So if you know you're a data engineer, give me some confetti. Some persons call it flowers. I don't know where flowers come in. This is confetti. Okay. So Clementina is actually a data engineer. Fantastic. What about the other data engineers in the house? We have John. Okay. No other data engineer. Really? Okay, what about the data analyst? If you know you're a data analyst, give me some confetti. Okay, so we have John. So John is over. We have Messi. Fantastic. Okay, what about the rest of us? Really? Okay, now if you're a data scientist, give me some confetti. Okay, so Clementina is both a data engineer and a data analyst. That's great. Okay, so give me some confetti if you're a data scientist. So we have Esther, we have Olawewaju, we have John, we have Muhoma. Okay, fantastic. Okay, this is going to be outside. This is going to be a wild card. If you're a business analyst, give me confetti. Any business analyst in the house? Oh, Talban is a business analyst. Okay. Oh, just Talban. We have Jonas. So Jonas is a business analyst as well. Okay. So it seems we don't have as much business. We don't have as many business analysts in the house as we have for other career paths. And there's no problem. Okay. Like I said, that was just a wild card. Business analysts also use draw.io, but for process mapping. You are going to use it for data modeling and for drawing and for creating your ELD diagrams, your entity relationship diagrams. Okay, while a business analyst would use the draw.io to carry out process mapping. Yeah. Anyways, let's move on. So that is the problem, and we are going to work with draw.io. We're going to have fun. That's sure. Okay. Time with Aisha is fun time. That's something that I've seen over the years, and people have attested to that fact as well. Okay, so, but I want us to really understand what the issue is. And so I want to throw this to the house. Okay, and you guys can give me, you can, if you want to speak, you can use the raise hand icon. I'll call you to speak, and then you can also use the chat box. Okay, so let's say you have a business and you have this data set. This is to show the importance of data modeling. Okay, you have this data set. You have a business, and in your business you have people can make orders from you. All right. People can make orders from you. You have a customer. You've been doing so well. You have customers, not a customer. Okay. You have customers. That was supposed to be you have the customer, but anyways, that's just by the way. Okay. So you have customers, numerous customers, many customers. And it's the end of the year. You want to carry out some sort of promo. Let's call it a promo or a gift. You want to give a customer, you want to give a gift to a customer, and the customer the customer you want to give that gift to is the one that purchased the most from you. You came to your data set or your sheet, wherever it is you store your records. And then when you took a look at this, you were trying to count the number of orders a particular customer made. I want you to take a look at this and tell me. All right? I want you to take a look at this and tell me. Over here, we have carbon and we also have carbon. Would you count carbon? Would you count this transactions? That's the first transaction and the third transaction. Would you count both of them as would you say that both of them are coming from the same customer, or both of them are coming from different customers? Okay, take a look at the screen. You see you have carbon. You have carbon as a customer on the first row, and then on the third row you also have carbon. Take a look at this and tell me, would you count both transactions as coming from just one customer, or are both transactions coming from two different customers? John says two different customers. Okay, Richmond would like to speak. Richmond, you can go ahead. Okay, I saw your hand was raised, and you can go ahead and unmute and tell us what you think. Okay, so we have Mela. Mela says different customers. I would like someone to speak. Okay, so I see Jonah says two different customers. John, I think everyone is saying two different customers so far. John, why do you think it's two different customers? Why do you think it's not the same customer, that they're actually different customers? Why? So you can unmute. Okay, John, you can unmute and speak quickly. So why do you think there are two customers and not one?
Okay, so the reason why I said there are two different customers is number one, the state is showing two different locations, and I'm looking at the time, or actually the date. Right, you can see that it's the same date as the first one, and the two of them the one person cannot be in two places at the same day, and the distance as well. You also consider that as well. So it's two different customers.
Okay, that's a great one. That's a very good one, John. So taking a look at the dates, you see that the date is the same. Okay, and taking a look at we say one person cannot be in two locations at the same time, except if maybe it's a clone. And I don't think that's technology is out yet. I don't think it's commercial yet though. Okay, so that is not possible. Good one, John. Amela, what do you think?
Okay, so like John said, two persons can be in the same state at the same time. And also, I see no reason why one person will be buying the same supplies in two different places at the same time. Reason why I said it's two different people.
Fantastic. That's great. That's what thinking. Okay, that's thinking. That's a great one. That's a very good one, Mela. Okay, I would like to hear from, I think Funke says same customers. So Funke is of a different opinion. So I want to hear from you, Funke. Why do you think is the same customer, that both car runs are the same, that's the same person? Why? Funke, are you there? I'd like to hear from you, Funke.
Hi, good evening.
Hello.
Yes. So I was looking at the input of the name before, but I think my answer changed when I heard other conversation, but I thought the entry might be different from the spellings of the name and description. That was why I said it's the same person but different entry. But looking at the location, I think like the first person said, they can that same person cannot be in the same place at the same time.
Okay,
In different places
so
at the same time.
all right, Funke, thank you very much for that. So Funke is no longer of the opinion that that it's actually the same customer. Now Funke is saying, now I don't think it's the same customer. They're two different customers agreeing with the others. Okay, so Funke was leaning towards the side, but when she heard the reasoning of others, she decided to tilt towards that way. Okay, and that's a great one, Funke. I want to know, is anyone on the call that thinks that it's actually the same customer? Okay, I can see Talband's hand is raised, and also the digital enthusiast. Okay, so digital enthusiast says they may be different. Talband, what do you think? Do you think it's the same customers or different customers?
Hi, good evening. Okay, can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Okay, so I'm thinking on one hand, this customer, but it's from
So,
experience.
okay, so
One
you're
thing that
breaking.
can you hear me now?
You're still breaking. It's still
Hello,
difficult
can you hear me
to
now?
hear you. I think it's
Hello.
better now.
Okay, so I've been working with data. It's one of the things that helps to identify different to be if there is a customer ID. If it's a different customer ID, then there will be different people. A guy could actually have locations. He could be living in New York at the same time and making all those locations. But perhaps column for customer ID, then I will be sure whether it's the same or a different person.
Okay, it was very difficult for me to hear digital enthusiast, but I was able to get what you're saying. So digital enthusiast is saying that if we had the customer ID, we could be able to tell that they are different customers based on the ID. But at the moment, we don't have a customer ID. We do not. So what is the answer to the question? We can't tell. That's the answer.
Yeah,
Okay? We can't
can't tell.
tell.
Nobody can tell.
All right, Talbot. Thank you very much. Okay, so we can't tell. So Talbot agrees with me. We can't tell. So if you said yes, it's the same customer, you're correct. A round of applause. Applause the same. If you say no, they're different customers, you're correct as well. We can't really tell. Taking a look at the data, it could be that carbon and the first customer and the first row and the third one is actually the same person. Yeah, I know that the order date and the ship date might be different, but it could might be the same. But it could be that carbon made the order at the same time. Now, yes, if carbon cannot be in two locations at the same time, it's not possible for carbon to be in New York and to be in Minneapolis at the same time. It's not possible. So what could be it's not possible that it would be in two locations at the same time, but it could be that carbon actually made the order on behalf of someone else. Oh, please, I need you to deliver these to, maybe let's say Carbon has a spouse or a friend, someone that is looking to send off his supplies to, or maybe he has another branch office in New York or something. Okay, and so he decided to go ahead to make an order for that business. So on your sheet, Carbon's name is still going to be there because he's the one that made the order, but the delivery address, the city, the name would be different. That is the situation that classing currently find themselves. This is the reason why data modeling is great. Because with data modeling, you will be able to tell if a customer or a product is actually the same as another based on the use of IDs. Digital enthusiasts talked about the order ID. Sorry, talked about the customer ID. That is going to be necessary when you're carrying out data modeling, whereby you are now able to convert these particular data sets into something like this, where you have 4 different tables or 5 different tables, and for each of them you have the customer table, the location table, the product table, and the sales table, where for the customer table you can have the customer ID, for the location table you can have location ID, and all of that. And with this you can now see that card run is actually the same. So we have 2 different card runs, and we can see the customer ID is the same, meaning it's the same customer. But if the ID was different, that means they are different customers. Banks use the same thing. Your ID, you have an account. I believe you should have some sort of account. I don't think in modern days I've seen an adult that does not have a bank account. It's either you have the bank account somewhere, it might be active, maybe dormant or not dormant, maybe there's money in it or there's no money in it, but it's an account. Okay, so just like you have your account, it's possible that there's someone else, another customer of that same bank that bears your name. I've gone as far as I've seen someone that actually has my first name, my last name, and my middle name. Okay, I've seen someone that actually had all of that. So it's possible you can have someone called John Michael in your bank, John. You can have someone called Funke Olasupo in your bank, Funke. Joseph, you can have someone called Joseph in your bank. Victoria, Sam. So how does the bank know that this is Victoria's money and this is not Victoria's money? How does the bank know that when we are trying to reach out to Victoria, Victoria needs to come in, we just gave her she just won $5 million and we need to call her to come in to get her money. Okay, so it was just a raffle draw. We're looking to give back to the community, to give back to our customers. Okay, and Victoria won $5 million. Okay, and so we need to call Victoria in. How do they know that it is this Victoria and not another Victoria that they go ahead to call to the bank to come take a cash prize? The Benjamins. The account number. It is via the account number. The account number is your ID. No 2 persons can have the same account number. No 2 individuals can have the same account number. We have different kind of IDs. We have account numbers when it comes to banks. We have things like the social security number. We have things like your bank verification number. You have exactly the BVN. You have things like your phone number. No 2 persons can have the same phone number. You have things like, name it. Okay, so a unique identifier is a unique identifier can be used as your means of identification. That is what we term primary keys when dealing with data modeling. That is what we term what? Primary keys when dealing with data modeling. In data modeling, there are 2 types of tables. We have the dimension tables and we have the fact table. The dimension tables and the fact table. The dimension tables are the tables that contains all of the information for that particular section and has a primary key. For example, your network provider has a customer DIM table. A DIM table is a dimension table. Dimension was shortened to DIM. Okay, your service provider has a DIM table, and in that DIM table they have the primary key. What is the primary key? Your phone number. And then they have other things relating to you: your name, your date of birth, your biometrics, your photo. Of course, I think biometrics Biometrics include photo, I believe. Okay, and then things like your next of kin. All of those things you inserted when you were trying to get when you're trying to become a customer. There is a table that contains all of that. That would be called the customer dimension table. And then there's another kind of table called the fact table. The fact table is a table that contains facts and figures and contains what we call the foreign keys. And a fact table does not necessarily have to have a primary key. What is a foreign key? It's simple. If you're on the call right now and you're a football fan, give me a thumbs up. If you know you watch football, give me a thumbs up. Okay? If you watch football, give me a thumbs up. Okay, so we have Oluwaseyi. Oluwaseyi watches football. Okay, so we have Kayode. Kayode watches football. What about the ladies? We don't have any, excuse me. Okay, so we have Bolaji, we have Joanna. Fantastic. So Joanna watches football. Okay, okay, so we have Eddie. Great. Now, if you watch football, you know about home and away, right? You know about home and away. You know about home and away? Okay, so I can see thumbs up. Fantastic. So home and away. The players that would play home and the players that will play away, are they the same football players or not? I will repeat that question to make it clearer. Let's say you support what club should I call now? Okay, let's say you support young boys. Okay, so let's say you support young boys. Now, when young boys play at home and they go to play away, is it the same players that will play home? Okay, let me put it this way. Is it the same team that will play home and also play away? Is it the same team? Same. Thank you, Mesoma. Thank you, Abby. Thank you, Kashmir. It's the same team. But when they are in their own stadium, it's home. And when they've gone to another stadium, it's away. That's the same thing for your primary and your foreign keys. When the key is at home, the key is called the primary key. And when the key goes away, the key is called the foreign key. It's like a citizen. When you are in your country and you are a citizen of that country, you are a citizen. But when you now migrate to a place where you're no longer a citizen, you are what? You are a foreign key. Okay? That is what primary and foreign keys mean. A primary key is actually the same as a foreign key. But what determines if it's going to be called a foreign key or a primary key? You need to ask yourself, is it home or away? Someone say home or away. Okay, someone say home or away. So come on, guys. Remember we talked about cooperation, or not cooperation, communication. Okay, someone say home or away. You can also place that on the chat box, so you don't need to unmute yourself. Okay, you can send it to the chat box. Someone say home or away. Or should we end the session? Should we? Are we? Maybe it's boring. Maybe we should call it a day. Okay. So only Funke says home or away. The rest of us, we are not interested. Is that the case? Did we understand a lot? Thank you very much, Chidima. So I want to ensure that we understand the words I'm talking about, which is the reason why I asked for the home or away. So I need more homes and more aways. So no home or away. You guys is like, oh, see, I'm pretty sure some persons right now, they're like, I'm not going to send home or away to the chat box. There's nothing ICC can do to force me to go ahead to say home or away. After I wait for about 2, 3, 4 minutes, it's going to go ahead with the session, and I would not end up sending home or away to the chat box. There's nothing it can make me do. And funny thing is, you're actually right. Okay, so I can see more homes, more home or away. Fantastic. So that is the difference between a primary key and the foreign key. It's the same key. But when the primary key is in its dimension table, when the key is in its dimension table, it's a primary key. For example, if a customer ID is actually located in the customer table, it's a primary key. But when the customer ID is not located in another table, for example, I talked about the service provider. So the service provider has a customer table, and they would have on that table that contains your minutes. That's the number of the time you've made calls with that number. So there's a calculation. Or since the number of years you've bought that particular SIM, there's a database somewhere that can give you the amount of time you've been on the phone making a call. That will be on the fact table. The amount of money you spent in buying credits or paying your phone bills would also be in a table. And then in that table, your customer ID would also be attached. So they are able to use your customer ID, and this time it will be your phone number. So they are able to use your phone number to tell that, oh, this particular customer was the one that went ahead to make 5 years worth of phone calls. And then your phone number becomes a foreigner because it's now far away from home. Your phone number is now a foreign key. Sad. Very sad. Anyways, moving on. So that is what data modeling is all about. We are going to do something similar for classic. And the rationale of the project, we are going to take a look at data. We are going to help classic. We're not going to go ahead to actually model the data. We are only going to create an ERD. That's an entity relationship diagram. As a data engineer, you should know how to go ahead to extract, transform, and load your data using Python into whatever database of your choice. All right. And as a data analyst, you should also know how to do same with Power BI or with Tableau. That's another topic. Today, we are going to see how we can create that diagram using draw.io. So we are able to present it to stakeholders like, oh, this is, let's say you're working on a project. Let's say you're on Upwork, you're a freelancer. Okay, so you have a project you're working on. And the client says, I need you to help me do this, let me push this in my database. You need to show the client what you're going to be doing. This is where the EROD comes in. So you build what the data model will look like. You present it to the client, so the client tells you, oh, this is good enough or not, before you go ahead to start coding or start building. So we have data centralization, improve accuracy, enhance performance, advanced analytics and visualization. And these are what we are looking to. This is the rationale for the reason why we are going to go ahead to get this done for what? For classing. And the aim of the project, what are we looking to achieve? What are we looking to achieve? Simple. We want effective categorization for us to have different sections of data. Oh, this is for this table. This is for this table. And we also want to have streamlined reporting. So when we are going ahead to to get our insights, it's easy for us to be able to point things out in different tables. Oh, I got this from this table. I got this from this table. Makes things make more sense. And then that's clarity. I don't think I need to speak more on that. Okay. And this is a data description, the data that we are going to go ahead to model. This is what it contains. And the tool we are going to be using is draw.io. Draw.io. We are going to use draw.io to build our EROD. Like I mentioned earlier, draw.io can also be used, for different things. Business analysts use draw.io for their process maps, talking about your swim lane diagrams. It can also be used for the by project managers for the fish. What's that called again? The fish. Sorry, the name just escaped me now. Something fish something. Okay, there's this kind of diagram that project managers build. Yeah. Okay, so it's called fishbone. Thank you very much, Andrew. Thank you. Okay, fishbone. Just give me a second, please. Okay, apologies for that, everyone. So the fishbone, so it can be used for different things. And this is our data set. You can get the data set from here. Once you get access to the slides, you can click on that to get the data set. I'm also going to send a link to the chat box for you to, for those interested in downloading the data sets. We are really not going to work so much with the data sets for now. Like I said, what we are going to do is more on drawing the diagram, but I'm going to send this data set to the chat box for those interested in downloading it. Okay, so that is the link. Once you click on that link, the data set will be downloaded immediately. Once you download the data set, this is what you are going to see. All right, this is what the data set looks like. This is the data set. Taking a look at this, so it's the data is not it's not large, so we have just about 59 rows. But what we are really concerned about is to see how we can model this. Okay, and the tool we are going to be working with is draw.io. How can you get access to draw.io? Easy as pie. Draw.io is free. It's a free tool. All you need to do, just go on your browser. Okay, so you can go on your browser and just search for draw. Okay, you can search for draw.io. All right, just search for draw.io. And okay, please don't unmute yourself. Okay, so I don't have to mute everyone. So once you click on draw.io, it can ask you for, it's actually for a new diagram, or if you want to open an existing diagram. If this is your first time going on draw.io, it's going to ask you for the storage. Where should it store your images? Do you want to store it in the cloud? Do you want to store it in your local drive? So you can choose any one of them, okay? Anyone works really. So I'm going to go ahead to click on create new diagram. All right, I click on create new diagram, and then I have blank diagram. I'll just click on create. I can give this a name. So I'll call this ERD for classing. Now click on create. Okay, so this asks me to save. I'll just click on save. And voila. So we have our board, our canvas for us to go ahead to draw our ERD. Okay, what we are going to do, we are going to first of all need to determine the different. We're going to first of all need to determine how we are going to split the data set. Okay, we are going to determine how we would split the data sets. And so we can do this in Google Sheets, or you can do this in Excel sheets. You can even do this somewhere in your canvas. Okay, but I'm going to be using Google Sheets. I'm going to copy all of the column headers. I'll bring this to the bottom, and I'll just paste it here. So we have something we are working with. Okay. From this data set, we are going to take a look at how many tables we can get. One question I usually get, and because I receive a lot of emails and DMs on social media and all of that, and one of the messages I've been getting more recently is, aside the also can you mentor me and all of that, is about ERDs. I think two persons actually asked this question. How do I know how many tables to create for my data set? Oh, I have this data set. How do I know if to have 2 tables, or if to have 3 tables, or 4 tables, or 5 tables? How do I know? Okay, so how do I know? So it's usually based on, how do I put this? Okay, you know what? Let's go ahead to split the data, and then we come back to that question. Okay, so in this data set, I'm going to, from this, there are certain things I can already picture. I can see I have a customer ID. I can see I have a customer ID. I can see I have an order ID. I can see I have a product ID. Okay, I have product ID, order ID, and customer ID. So with that, I can already decide that I already know that I'm going to be having some sort of I'm going to be having some sort of order table. I'm going to have an order table. So I'll come over here and I would say order. Okay, I'll call this order dim table. Or just say order dim. Just say order dim. All right. And then under my order dim, my dim table needs a what? What does my dim table have? Which of these two keys is most important for my dim table? The primary key or the foreign key? Primary key. Thank you very much, Olaberwaju. So we are going to have the order ID. The order ID is going to serve as our primary key for the order dim table. Okay, the order ID is going to serve as our primary key for the order dim table. So we're going to take this off. Any one of them we take off, I'm going to color code this. So I can give this, take this, okay. And then I would also have my order date. So I can have my order date. Okay, I can have my ship date. So the ship is also related to the order table. I can have my ship mode. Okay, so I'm going to color code all of this. So I have my order dim table. Next, the customer dim. So I'm going to type in customer dim. And then of course I have my customer ID. And then I have my customer name. I think I'm going to try to okay, so I have my customer name. And then I'm going to have my segment. What does the segment contain? If you take a look at the data set is also there to guide you. Take a look at the data set. You see that the segment contains the type of customer. Is this customer a business owner? Is it just a consumer, someone from corporate, or someone that has a home office? All right. So this is showing us the type of customer. So that's the reason why I'm going to place it in here. So I have my segment. So I have customer dim, customer ID, and segment. Okay, I've almost forgot about customer name. Okay, so what we are doing right now is that we are trying to take a look at how we are going to split each table. That's what we are doing. How we are going to split each table. Remember, I talked about the fact that this is just the first step. After building your EROD, the next thing you're supposed to do is to go ahead to actually carry out the data modeling, which, depending on your path, if you're a data scientist, a data analyst, or a data engineer, there are different ways you can carry that out. Okay, so we have our customer name. Then I think I'm also going to color code this. So make this light yellow. Okay, and then next we have country, city, state, and postal code. Over here, the postal code is going to serve as the primary key. Now you might be wondering, what about if I place country, city, and state at the bottom at this point? Is there going to be an issue? Not really. There would not really be an issue. But since you have a primary key for that location, it is best it has its own table. Okay, it's best it has its own table. Postal codes, no two locations have the same postal code. That's just a fact. I'm sure we know what postal codes are. So postal codes are your primary keys for locations. So I'm going to go ahead to So this, I'm going to call this location dim. Call this location dim, and then we have country, we have city, we have state, and then we have postal code. Postal code is serving as the primary key, and of course we have region. Okay, and then we have region. And then next we have the product table. So the product dim. And over here we have product ID. And then we have the category. That's the category of the product. And the subcategory of the product. And of course, the product name. And then lastly, we have sales quantity, discount, profit, and profit margin. That is going to go into the facts table, because those are values that change so frequently. Those are what you use to quantify how transactions are like. Your sales are figures, quantities are figures that change. They are not, you cannot really have a key for sales. It doesn't make sense. I don't know if you understand. Like, okay, okay, so let's say $40. $40 would now be what key? It's an ever-changing metric. A customer calls, buys an item, they bought it for this price. A customer calls, buys an item, bought for this price. That is what's called the fact table. Your metrics, things that you can use to actually make some decisions about that data set. Okay. So, how did we get here? So this is what we are just trying to do right now is to split the data to see how we are going to, what our EROD is going to look like. Okay, so that's what we are doing, Mesoma. So it's still on the same sheet. I just scroll down to get this done. Okay, so once we get to draw.io, we now move all of these things into draw.io and have something fantastic. Okay, so this will be our facts table. So I'm going to call this sales, that's the sales table, sales facts. And one thing about this fact table, the fact table needs to contain your primary keys. It needs to contain your foreign keys. Of course, once the primary keys leave their home and they go away, they become what? Primary, they become foreign keys. So my facts table would now contain my order ID. So I would have order ID. I would have customer ID. I would have my postal code. I would have my product ID. And then of course I can also have I would have my sales. I would have my sales, my quantity, discounts, profits, and profit margin. So this would be our fact table. Something we can also add in is a calendar dim table. As a data engineer, when working with your databases, you usually want to also add in time. That is when you import your time. I'm sure you guys know what I'm talking about. When you import your date time using the from date time import date time, that's you import the date time package. So you are able to talk about time. Like you can say 5th September 2015 was actually this day was actually a Monday, was actually this. And then for data analyst, you can use, for example, Power BI, you can use the calendar function. Data engineers will go ahead to import the date time package, and then data analysts and data scientists can also import data time packages. Well, okay, kind of. All right. Yeah, you can also do that as well. And then data analysts can work with what your work with the calendar function in your Power BI to get your date table. Exactly, Messi. That's what I'm talking about. Your calendar table. That's your date table. What would the date table tell us? If we have something like this, let's say we have 6, 7, 8. Okay, I don't think there's any dates that exist that way. So let's just say we have something like this. The date table will be able to tell us if the 6th was a Monday, if it's a Monday, or if it's a Tuesday, and that, oh, the 7th was actually July, and that this was the year. So instead of working with just the way the date is written, you can go ahead to carry out some sort of analysis whereby you can see trends by month. So, oh, January we made this, February we made this based on the date table. In case you are wondering, sir, if I get a data set that doesn't contain IDs, what do I do? Was anyone thinking about that question? Okay. If I get a data set that does not contain IDs, what do I do? Did anyone think about that question? Okay, nobody thought about the question. Okay, good to know. Okay, that means we can go ahead then. So we are going to go ahead. No one thought about the question, so I think we can go ahead. All right. So we are going to we are not going to have a date table. Okay, we are going to have a date table. So the date table, I'm going to bring this here. So our date table, this will be date dim. The date dim can contain to contain day. Please, I don't want to have to mute everyone. Okay, so please, I really don't want to have to mute everyone. Please, and please don't make me do that. Okay. Stephanie is asking, what would happen if there were no IDs? There's no need for me to give the answer. So no one thought about the question. So it's good. Okay. It's great that no one thought about the question. So let's move on. Okay. So Stephanie, don't worry about it. You didn't think about the question, so it's not a problem. Okay. So our date dim is going to contain day. So we are going to have day, which is like Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. We can have months. Okay, we can have months. We can also have, let's say, quarter if we want, and then year. But we are going to need a primary key. So Kelvin says that's not a feed though. But Kelvin, when I asked the question, you didn't respond. Okay. Kelvin, when I had asked, did you anyone no one responded. So I thought, you guys didn't think about the question. But we would like to know what to do. So it's not about liking to know what to do, Bella. I want to know, did you guys didn't think about it? We still have lots to do, so I don't want us to waste time. Don't worry. At the end of the session, if we have time, I'll go into it. Okay. At the end of the session, no one thought about the question. So at the end of the session, if we have time, we'll go into it. So we have the year, we have day, month, quarter, and year. And then we need the what's it called? We need the primary key, because it's a dim table. There must be a primary key. And this time, our primary key, we're going to use the order date. This order date here. Okay, we're going to use the order date as our primary key. Okay, we use the order date as our primary key because that is the date of each and every transactions. And so this would also come in here as a foreign key. Okay, this is what we are going to be working with. Now, let's build that diagram. Over to draw.io. Okay, over to draw.io. Draw.io has different shapes, but for what we are looking to do, the EROD we are looking to do, you see over here we have entity relation. That is ER. EROD means entity relation, relationship. That's entity relation diagram. So in case if you are asking an interview, what's EROD? Don't say I don't know. I just told you. Okay, so yeah, so EROD, entity relationship diagram. So you come over to your entity relation and then you click on this, and we have different formats that we can use. We are going to select the first format. We select what? The first format. So I will select the first format and I'll bring this here. Okay, I'll bring this here. Let's draw. What we are going to do next, we are going to give this table a name. So to change the name of the table, you can just double click on the letter. Okay, that's the table, the word table. So I'm going to name this order dim. I'll name this order dim, and step 1 is done. Over here, you see it's asking me for primary key. What's our primary key for the order dim table? Let's see if we can remember without having to go back to the sheet. What's our primary key for our order dim table? Order ID. Fantastic. So we're going to come in here and would say order ID. Okay, we have what? Order ID. Now over here would have the order part of our table. For the first one, we should have order date. Okay, we can have order date, or since we already have order date in here, we could decide to ignore, but it doesn't really matter. We can also add it in. So we'd have order date. Okay, and then for row 2, I'll click on row 2. I'll edit that. I'll change the name to, this will be ship mode. And then for row 3, this would be ship date. And we have our first table. So I'm going to place this somewhere, just going to drag this to a corner, and then I can use Control D to duplicate. I can go ahead to insert another table if I want to, but that takes time. All right, so I'm going to just duplicate. So Kashmir is asking, can order ID serve as a primary key in order table and date table? Is this possible? No. Order ID cannot serve as a primary key in the date table because the order ID is not a date. We are going to use the order ID. The order ID would not be able to connect to, how do I put this? If you try using order ID as a primary key, you might run into some issues when you're actually going ahead to build the model. When you are building the model, because every table needs to be connected to one another, which is talking about the relationships, which we'll go into soon. Okay, every table needs to be connected to one another, and your order date needs to be your order date, your date table needs to be connected via date to your sales fact table. So you are able to see things like, oh, is this Monday, is this Tuesday, or is this Wednesday? So it's better if you work with the order date, because working with the order ID might work, but it's a bit tricky. So to be straightforward and to ensure that you are doing what's right, go with the order date. Okay, you go with the order date. So that's me answering your question, Kashmir. Because something you might have something like 5, 6, 7, 8, something like this, and then this would be order date. This would be the primary key, and then over here the day would now be on the 5th. Let's say on the 5th was Tuesday. Okay, on the 5th was Tuesday, and then this would be June, and then have the year. So you will be able to connect this order date if you were to have another ID, yeah, let's say one, all right, let's say you have another ID here that says ID one, and then you have a date, this particular date that occurred twice. Two customers went ahead to purchase an item in the same date. It will be easier for you to connect this other date to the other date's secondary key. I know that it might not be so clear at the moment. I'm trying to it might not be so clear at the moment. It will be clearer if we're actually building the data model. It will be a lot clearer if we're doing the connections, building the actual data model. All right, now I'm just trying to paint a picture for you. But just know that you want to go with the other date. Okay, Kashmir, just know you want to go with the other date. Yes, Mayowa, the recording will be sent across. Okay, so I'm going to duplicate this. I can use Control D to duplicate. All right, I can use Control D to duplicate, and I'll bring this somewhere. Next, I'm going to have my customer dim table. For my primary key, I have customer ID. Then over here, I have customer name. And then I have, I think I have customer name. I have segments. So over here, I have segments. And then I'm going to take this off because I don't need that. So I have my order dim and I have my customer dim. I'll also duplicate. Next, we are going to have our location dim. So this will be location dim. And then for the primary key will be the postal code. And then we'd have the city, the state, and the country. And then next, we are going to have the product dim. So this would be product dim. And then the primary key will be product ID. Over here, we'd have product name. And then we'd have category. And we'd also have subcategory. Okay, I guess that's it. Then yeah, that's it. Then we have our date dim. We have our date dim. I'll call this calendar dim, or you can call it date dim, really. Any of them works, okay? The name doesn't really matter. I think I'm going to go with calendar dim. For the primary key, we are going to have the order date. One thing remember I talked about the fact that so how did I make the first table? You can just how did you make the first table? Based on if you're asking how did I insert this table, what you do, come over to entity relation, okay, and then click on the first one. You come over to entity relation, you click on the first one, okay. So remember I talked about the fact that primary keys need to be unique. So order date is unique. You cannot have the same date. How do I put this? Yesterday's date would never occur anymore. Yesterday is gone and it's gone. Yes, you can't have 2 days with the same date. You cannot have 2 days with the same date. So that's the reason. That's another reason why the order date is going as the primary key, because primary keys need to be unique values. There should not be duplicates. So when you are going ahead to build your data models, you also want to ensure you take off duplicates. By using the drop duplicates, if you are working with Python, or using the remove duplicates from the Power Query, that's the remove duplicate options in Power Query. Okay. So we have the order dates, and then over here would have day, and then months. And I think we had year, we had months, then we also had quarter. We had quarter. Now, taking a look at these, we no longer have any additional space, any more row. So what we are going to do, I'm going to open up the properties. All right, that's the format. And then I will come over to arrange. Okay, I'll come over to arrange. I ensure that the table I want to add more rows to is selected. I'll come over to arrange, and then over here, you see I can insert column to the left, insert column to the right, insert and delete column. I can insert row above and insert row after, which is what I want. So I'm going to click on insert row after, and then over here I can add in year. So we're already having something good. And then lastly, for sales fact table, this will be sales fact table. This, first of all, is going to now become foreign key, that's FK. And then we have order dates, we have customer ID. Okay, and then we have order ID. And then we'd have postal code. And of course, we'd have product ID. I'm going to add in more rows. So adding more rows. Remember, when you want to add in more rows, what you do, you click on the image. Okay, you click on the image that's on the table. You come over to your properties. You click on arrange, and then at the bottom, you are going to see insert row below. So I'm going to insert a couple of rows. I think I should add in one more. And then over here would have I think I've added in every primary key of customer ID. Okay, everything looks good. So over here I can now add in sales, quantity, profit, and profit margin. And I believe that's everything. So we also have discounts and discounts. Okay. So the next thing is for me to rearrange. I'm going to rearrange this. I'm going to be using what is called the star schema. I'm going to be using what is called the star schema. We have different types of schema. We have two actually. So I'm going to be working with the star schema. So there's a star schema, there's a snowflake. Okay, so I'm going to bring this to this edge. And then I'm just going to arrange this around the, I'm going to arrange this around, I think I will also just zoom out a bit. Okay, can bring this here. I can bring this here as well. All right. The next thing would be to connect my tables. In data modeling, there's what we call the data, there's what we call the relationships. What are relationships? Relationships are ways that you are if forget about data now. If I was to ask you what's a relationship, it's the connection between two persons, two objects, something. What relates you to someone else? What is the connection between you and another person? That is a relationship. That is the same thing for data models. We have three types of relationships. Some persons say four, okay, which is the one-to-one relationship, the one-to-many relationship, and the many-to-many relationship. For those that say four types of relationships, it is the one-to-one relationship, the one-to-many relationship, the many-to-one relationship, and then we have the many-to-many relationship. The one-to-many and many-to-one is the same thing to me, really. So it's actually two relationships that we have. I might not be able to go into the great detail what the one-to-one, one-to-many, many-to-many really means, okay? Because we are running out of time already. But what we are going to do is that we are going to connect this. The relationship that this is going to have to every one of our tables is going to be a one-to-many relationship. Okay, it's going to be a one-to-many relationship. I'm sure we should have some idea of what relationships are all about already. Okay, being a data engineer, a data analyst, or a data scientist, you should know what the relationships are. But I would have loved to go into it. Of course, we really don't have much time. So what we are going to do now is to connect this table to other, is to connect all of these tables together. To do that, I'm going to come over to my at the bottom of my entity relationship where I have all of these images. You see, I have some lines, and when you hover around the lines, you are going to see things written. This is 0 to many. We have what? 1 to many. 1 to many relationship. We have what? 1 mandatory. We have what? 1 to 1. We have 1. We have 0 to 1. Different types of relationships. Okay, different types of relationships. What we are going to be working with is the one to many. So over here, I can see the one to many relationship. The one should be connected to the dim table, and then the many will be connected to the facts table, because your dim table should not contain duplicate. So you should have a single iteration for every value. So I'm going to select my one to many relationship, and then click on that. Okay, so I have my relationship over here. So I'm going to move this. I'm going to be connecting my primary key to the corresponding foreign key. So over here, I have my order ID, the primary key. This order ID will be connected to the order ID. Sorry, I forgot to add in my foreign keys. So I have that as a foreign key. This is also a foreign key. This is also a foreign key. And this is also a foreign key. So I'm going to connect this primary key to the corresponding foreign key. That is this order ID to this order ID. Now, like I said, the one would be located in the dim table, and then the menu will be connected to the what? To the facts table. So I'm going to bring this over here. Okay. So how do you move it? When you hover around the one to many, you're going to see this blue check, this blue cycle. Very the shade of blue is darker than the others. So once you click on that, you can drag to any connection, to any place you're looking to make the connection. So I'm going to connect these to the order ID, and then the many side of things will be connected to the order ID. So I have something like this. So I'm going to take all of this out. So I have something like this. And if I was to move, you see the line moves with it. Okay, you see what the line moves with it. So we're going to do the same for the other tables. So I'll bring this. This would be to order ID. That's customer ID, sorry. And then of course I'd have the other customer ID. And then this can be connected to order dates and the order dates. Okay, so I'm going to just change the location of this. I'll bring this to the bottom. I'll bring the location dim to the bottom so everything is more, it's clearer than it is at the moment. So I'll change this. I'm going to bring this to the right so this looks better, or to the left, sorry. And then for the product dim, I'm going to insert another one-to-many relationship. And then this will be connected to product ID, while the other will be connected to the corresponding foreign key. And then lastly, for the postal code, this will be connected to the postal code, and then of course to the foreign key. So I have something like this. Okay, I think I should bring this to the top. Just trying to see how we can make this better in terms of the diagram. Okay, so I think this is the best we might be able to do right now. So anyways, I should be able to move this. Okay, let me try this again. I don't want the line to be in the diagram. Okay, I'll just delete that. And I'll make the connection again. And let's see if this is better. I think I'll just bring it to the bottom. I'll just bring this to the bottom, and I guess we'll run with that. So I don't want the lines to interfere with the tables, so everything is clear. All right. So this is a diagram. Now, so Jonas is asking, what is the use of the FK? FK is foreign key. It's to show the client or whoever you are showing the diagram to that this is the foreign key. This is going to be the foreign key. This is going to be the primary key. Yes, Mesoma, for it's one to many. Okay, for this particular setup, everything is going to be one to many for this setup. Okay, now the next thing I'm going to do, I'm going to insert a new page, or I could color code this if I wanted. I could color code this if I wanted. So maybe you can add in some colors. Okay, so I can come in here, maybe add in some colors just to make things nicer. So the customer name, this could be touch of red. Okay, so at the top, you see you have the few colors, so that's what I'm using. So we could go with this. Okay, now I want to insert like a rectangle. Okay, I want to insert a rectangle. So I'm going to come over to, I'm going to scroll up to where I have my rectangles. That's my image. So I'm just going to click on that. This is going to serve like some sort of backdrop. Okay, and I'll right click and I'll click on to back. So I want to send it to the back. I want to send the rectangle to the back. So I'm going to click on to back. Okay, and so we have something like this. Okay, now this can be saved. This is our diagram. All right, these are entity relationship diagram. With this diagram, you can go ahead to show stakeholders or clients, oh, this is what the database is going to look like. Let's say you're a data engineer and you're actually building a database. You want to help these guys to move their data. Let's say they're currently they're manual. Okay, they're manual. That is, they're storing data in data Excel sheets, or you want to scrape the web and get data for them. Maybe it's a company that is just looking to start up and they want to understand what price is like outside. So they need you to go ahead to help them scrape the web, get prices from other websites, so they are able to make decisions based on that. So after scraping the website and getting your different columns, you can have this EROD, this diagram, so they understand what each table contains. And if this is good enough, they give you a go ahead. And then of course you can go ahead to build your data model and get all of the data into the database. So when you then load the database, you now see those tables. I'm sure everyone on the call, okay, apologies, just give me a moment. My lights just went off. My ring lights just went off. A moment, please. Sorry about that, everyone. I think that was a little glitch. Okay, so I was saying, I'm sure everyone here, you've worked with a SQL database, that's SQL. You saw that when you loaded the data, when you restored the database generally contains different tables. And then when you open up the tables, you see different columns. This is the start. It is from here that that database is now created, and you now have something like that. And you can go ahead to save this. So if you want to save as a PNG, so maybe you want to save and share on social media, maybe add to your portfolio. Okay, what you can do is to click on file, and then you see over here you have save as, and then you can select the different ways. You can select PNG, so you can store this as an image and click on save. Okay, and then it will be stored in your drive. Now this is just the start. After working to this point, I want to employ everyone on the call. Data engineers, I want you to go ahead. You have the data sets. That's the reason why I provided the link to the data sets. I want you to go ahead to build a database from this. Build a database from this. And then, okay, I want you to build a database from this. And then if you're a data analyst or a data scientist, I want you to go ahead to do this using Power BI or using Tableau. Okay, go ahead to connect your relationship and then build a dashboard with that, visualize the data, and get what you can. So this can be placed on your portfolio, an image of this with the database you actually built, or the dashboard you actually went ahead to create. So your client or whoever is taking a look at this can see that you were able to follow a step-by-step process to get something done. Okay, yeah, that's about it. I hope we had a great time. I hope we had a great time today. Okay, I hope we had a great. I need more responses. Okay, I hope we learned a thing or two. Fantastic. Thank you very much, everyone. So this is what we're going to be calling it today. We'll probably see again. Okay, so when we see again, we'll of course take a look at other things. And of course, you can follow. You're going to get the slides. So once you get the slides, ensure you practice. Post your work on social media. It's very important. Okay, you can take a screenshot, post on LinkedIn, and then tag me. So my LinkedIn details is on the slide, so you can connect with me on LinkedIn. So you are able to, you can tag me. Okay, so I get to see the amazing things that everyone is doing. All right. With this, I'll say thank you, everyone, and it was a pleasure to. I've been speaking for the past an hour, 30 minutes, I believe. Okay. Thank you, everyone. Tommy, I don't know if you want to round up.
Sorry, I was trying
Mommy, are you
to.
there?
Yes, yes, I'm here. I was
All
trying
right
to
then.
unmute myself. Thank you so, so much, Ise, for the session. I believe everybody got value. And it's so great to have you on this with us again today. Guys, sorry, I'm trying to fix my light. So I'll be putting on my camera in like 2-3 minutes. Just let me quickly fix my light. So yes, so thank you so much, Isa. Like Isa said, it would be great to have you guys post about this experience, what you've gained and learned so far. And also, please remember to tag us, remember to tag Isa. It's a great way to know what you've gained from this, how impactful this has been for you as well. So please, if you've not filled, okay, thank you guys. You can show your appreciation in the chat. I see your chats, Pauline. Thank you, everybody. I see. Okay. I said this. You have a question from Kelvin. He says, "What of the question we asked?"
That'll be fun on that session. Okay. So I
Okay.
think I'll keep that in suspense. That'll be so no
Okay.
one asked the question, and I was the one that asked. So there's no
Oh,
time I would have
okay.
gone into it, but some other time. Okay.
All right. Thank you so much. I said.
All right then. Yeah.
Okay.
Thank you,
So,
everyone.
guys, thank you so much for joining. We see Pauline says that's not fair. Pauline, just make sure you join the next session. Trust me, he is going to cover that just like he said. And Funke says, please do share the recording. Yes, we'll do that. We'll definitely do that. I don't know why my system is hanging. It's not allowing me to turn on my camera. All right, so we'll definitely do that, Pauline. Sorry, Funke. And then if you've not filled the attendance sheet, guys, please go ahead and do that. Would love to know the people on the session and to reach out to you with the recording like you have rightly asked for it. So please, guys, fill the sheets, fill the attendance form that my colleague Tomiwa has shared. Tomiwa, please, you might want to drop it again for them. Thank you. Okay, I see you've dropped it already. Thank you. All right, so guys, I would also like to know, like, see a show of hand if our session, or rather, if the payments that I indicated earlier is something you'd love to take advantage of, because like I mentioned to us earlier, we have slashed the price so that it's easy for everybody to be able to access. So if you will love to upgrade and take advantage of the platform, please indicate so that we can reach out to you. Okay. And if you can see me, because I'm put on my camera, so if you can see me, please do let me know. But again, if you'd be making your subscription this week and you like us to reach out to you, please send me a DM and just indicate right here. Would also like to see. Okay, so please go ahead.
I think you are muted.
Hi, mom, you're muted. We
Yes,
can't hear
sorry,
you.
I just realized that. All right, sorry about that. Okay, so I was saying that if you'd like to take advantage of what we have for you right now on the platform, please just indicate so we can reach out to you tomorrow. Just give me a thumbs up. Just give me a thumbs up if you'll be subscribing to Amdari this new week